Welcome to the Explore Real Estate Show. I am James Boslaw, your Fredericksburg area realtor and vacation rental investor. And this show is all about real estate in the Fredericksburg area, the Fawn Lake community, and the vacation rental space. I help people buy and sell homes because I believe that everyone should grow their wealth as they live in or own a home that they love. I also believe that you should feel confident when you are buying or selling a home, and confidence comes when you are well educated and informed, and that's what this show is all about. Enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Explore Real Estate Show, where in today's episode, I'm going to be discussing the 5 signs that we are in the beginning of a shift. And I'm excited to dive into today's episode with you. I do want to clarify that this is the very early stages of what I believe is a shift in the marketplace. I'm going to give you these 5 signs and 5 good reasons why I believe that's the case. But I do want to preface this episode by saying that I will be watching these things closely to see if it's just something that's taken place over the last 4 to 6 weeks, or if it's something that's going to continue on in the months to come. So that's why I do want to make sure that you are checking in on these episodes every month so that you can follow that which I am sharing with you, because we're going to be watching these things very, very closely. But I am going to go on record right now, because I've seen enough to share this with you, that I do believe that we are in the beginning stages of a shift in the marketplace. That shift would be now slowly be going towards the buyer. And I want to give you 5 signs that lead me to believe just that. The first sign that I want to talk about is active listings. If you take a look at June of this year, June of 2024, and you take a look at how many active listings there are in the market, that number is 877 homes. Now, the 5-year average in June is 846 homes. So what we're seeing here is about 31 more homes that are on the market as of June of this year versus the 5-year average. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but what we track is the direction that things are going in. And right now, the direction that we're going in is that there are more active listings this year than there has been in the average of the last 5 years. So we have to stop and take a look. Active listings are increasing. They are trending up. They're going in that direction of more supply. Now, that's the first sign of the beginning stages of a shift, is that the active listings are increasing. The second sign that we're in the beginning of a shift is that our months of supply is also increasing. As of June of 2024, June of this year, the months of supply in our market is 1.9 months of supply versus the 5-year average in June, which is 1.4 months of supply. So what we are seeing is that there is a higher months of supply this year than the 5-year average, but we're watching the direction that things are going in, and they continue to tick upwards. Last month it was 1.8. This month it's 1.9. I have a lot of reason to believe that next month it's going to be in the 2-month range, and we're starting to see that our months of supply is trending upward. So that's the second sign that we are in the beginning stages of a shift. The third sign is that our average days on market is up. Now, when I say our average days on market is up this June compared to last June, it's only slightly. I mean, we are not talking about a lot of days that a house is on the market in the Fredericksburg area. As a matter of fact, if I were to be very specific, the average days on market in the Fredericksburg area is 20 days before a house goes under contract. However, that is actually a higher days on market than we experienced in last June and in the last 5 Junes prior to that. So what we're starting to see is that homes are on the market for a longer period of time than they have been in years past. And that is a third and another sign that we are in the beginning stages of a shift. Once homes are on the market for a longer period of time, that is definitely a telltale sign that things are starting to shift as they go in the direction of longer days on market. Now, the last 2 signs are, I don't have any data to back this up. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing in the marketplace with my everyday dealings, and also as I talk to other agents. But the 4th sign that we are in the beginning stages of a shift is that seller concessions are now coming back. Now, you might ask, what is a seller concession? Well, here's the deal. When a buyer purchases a home, they are typically responsible to cover their own closing costs. And for the last several years, that's been the norm. The buyer has their down payment. They cover their own closing costs. That's been the norm. But now what we're starting to see is that buyers are requesting a concession or money from the seller that will contribute towards the buyer's closing costs. And sellers are starting to agree to that. Sellers have their house on the market for a longer period of time. They have fewer offers. And so now they're willing to negotiate more, which means that they're now, in some cases, starting to consider applying some money towards the buyer's closing costs. That is a seller concession. And we are starting to see more and more seller concessions coming into the contracts that we are writing up. And that is a very, very obvious sign of a shift when the buyer starts to have the leverage to request that and actually to receive that. Oftentimes that is the case with me and with many other agents that I'm talking to. So that is the fourth sign that we are in the beginning stages of a shift. The fifth sign is that appraisals have been coming in low. This happened to me. It's happened to several other agents that I've talked to. A house will be under contract at a certain price, but the appraisal comes back and the home is appraised for less than what it's under contract for. And usually what happens when that's the case is that opens up the negotiations for the buyer to see if the seller is willing to come down in price. And oftentimes there's usually a compromise that's made where the price does come down to help meet that appraisal. And sometimes the buyer brings a little bit more money to the table to ease that lowering cost. However, we are starting to see that appraisals have been coming in low, which have reopened the negotiations between the buyer and the seller. And so we're starting to see homes sell for less than what they were listed for. And so once again, all these reasons are leading me to believe that we are in the very, very beginning stages of a shift. Let me repeat these 5 things one more time, just to clarify. Number 1, active listings are up. Number 2, months of supply is up. So in short, inventory is increasing. Number 3, our average days on market is up. We're starting to see that homes are on the market for a longer period of time before they go under contract. Number 4, seller concessions are coming back. Buyers have more leverage. They're starting to get a little bit more money from the seller to help cover their closing costs. And number 5, appraisals have been coming in low, which has lowered the sales price of the home from what it went under contract for to what it actually sells for. And for those 5 reasons, I have come to the conclusion that we are in the beginning stages of a shift. Buyers are starting to have more leverage in negotiations, and it all has happened in the last 4 to 6 weeks, and it's happened quickly. So we're starting to see a lot of shifting taking place. I actually think that the data that will come out next month for July will point to all of these things even more. We do have a lag in data. We typically get the data for the previous month in the middle of the current month. So right now, we are taking a look at my next episode. We'll take a look at the June data, but I get that in the middle of July. Whereas we will eventually get July's data in the middle of August. And I think that's going to have a greater reflection of what we have seen in the last 4 to 6 weeks. So we'll be watching this closely. I might be wrong with my opinion on this shift. I'm definitely wanting to be humble and open to the fact that no matter what my opinion is, the data will test that, and it will bring us to a conclusion on whether or not that opinion is true or not. But I will go on record to say that I am seeing a lot of signs. These 5 signs are pointing to me having the opinion that we are starting to see the market shift slowly more and more in favor to the buyer. Now, with that being said, it's still not a bad time to sell. A home on the market for 20 days or maybe even a little bit more than that is still excellent. And home values are definitely up when you take a look at the amount of appreciation that we've had over the last 13 years. So it's not necessarily a bad time to sell, but we're starting to see that the buyer is starting to get a little bit more leverage as these 5 signs have proven true time and time again. So if you are on the sidelines and you are waiting and watching and looking for an opportunity to buy, for these reasons, you should really consider getting off the sidelines and jumping in the game sooner rather than later. Once the interest rates tick down, which we have a lot of reason to believe that will happen this year, but once the interest rates tick down, we will see a flood of buyers who have been on the sidelines just waiting, and they're all going to jump into the market at the same time. And at that point, it's going to be harder for a buyer to negotiate because they will be competing with several other buyers who also have been waiting on the sidelines. So if you're a buyer and you're trying to wait for that right time to buy a home, now is actually a really good window to do so. You have some leverage, you have some less competition, and as we go into the later part of the summer and into the fall, I think that you're going to have some more leverage. If you find a home that you truly love, it's a good time to see if you can snag it, maybe get it for less than asking price, maybe get some seller concession, and then obviously as the interest rates drop in the years to come, you can always refinance that home at a lower interest rate and have a much lower mortgage payment. So I'm here to navigate these waters for you. If you're a seller, this does mean that you're gonna have to exercise some more patience. Things are starting to shift into the buyer's favor a little bit more, and we'll track in the coming months how much it shifts. But as of right now, that's the direction that things are going in, and you've heard it from me first. I want to report that out to you so that you are educated and informed. With that being said, I just want to remind you guys, if you are watching this episode on YouTube, please click the subscribe button. I'm trying to grow my subscribers so that way everyone can stay in touch with what's taking place in the real estate market and always be kept up to date on all of my episodes as they come out. If you're listening to this on Apple's podcast, you can follow the show to do the same, and I would really, really appreciate that. With that also being said, I just pray and hope that you have a great week, and I look forward to bringing more and more data to you on the next episode. Thanks, and have a great day.